Honestly, the truth about feeling like you're going backwards is really like, you know how they say, it's like peeling an onion. Each layer is you and all the versions you've created, all the egos you've created, all these subconscious things that have attached themselves to you, whether from yourself or from others. They start to build up, and yeah, you think one layer, okay, I'm done, and then you see another layer, and then you're like, hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be talking about, as you can tell from the title, why healing makes you feel like you're going backwards. Shouldn't you be moving forward? Shouldn't you be like jumping through galaxies and becoming ascended and the chosen one and going to, what is it, Nirvana? Is it? No, I think it's Nirvana. Going to heaven and all this stuff, and actually you're just going backwards as if you're on a treadmill sometimes. Honestly, it's the weirdest thing and feeling. You do all this work, you're doing all this healing work, but somehow you feel worse than you felt before, and somehow your environment is worse than it was before, and everything, all the work you've done, it just feels like it's going nowhere. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it in this video. So a healing journey feels like that, where it really is an onion that just continuously peels and peels and peels. But also what healing is also the idea of cleaning out a space, whether it's a closet, your room, a house. It's gonna look messy. It's gonna look real messy because you have to pull everything out to see what you have, also see what you don't want, and also see what you do want. And you have to figure out what categories they belong in. So that's why they really say healing is a journey, not a destination. Because I will promise you now, that destination you might have in your head, or the ideal version of you when you're all fully healed, that will do more damage than it will do good. Because that's how I started my journey. I first started with therapy, which I talk about here and there within my videos, and I had this expectation that when you go to therapy, you do a few sessions, and then maybe about a year in it, you feel like a brand new person, and you were never who you were, which is kind of true. You're never who you are when you first start therapy, but I thought I'll just do therapy for a few years and I'll be fully healed and recovered, and I'll be the best version of myself and all this stuff. And to my surprise, and honestly, it really hindered my journey for a while because it made me very frustrated. It made me believe that healing wasn't real. It made me believe that I was just making this up and that I was kind of creating just better coping mechanisms and not actually healing. And what I realized in therapy in particular is that healing looks like being able to bring awareness to yourself into the situation, to see the situation for what it is, because our subconscious does blur out a lot of our experiences and only highlight certain things for different reasons. And it also makes you have better, how can I say this? When you have more awareness of what the situation is, then it's a better way for you to operate in it. So I feel like therapy just gave me tools for me to better operate myself in these experiences that I had or still going through. And it also made me have to look at myself in different ways I never did before. And it had to make me also, I feel like for me in my healing journey, yes, you have victimizing, but you also have this thing where you don't want to blame anyone, you blame yourself, and it becomes a continuous cycle of like, oh, it's me, I'm the problem, this is my issue, I did this to myself, even though it could be another person's full responsibility, but you still put that on yourself. And I had the reassurance, I had the affirmations from a person that can't, we're not personally related or anything, but a stranger to tell me, hey, your feelings are valid. What happened to you was wrong. And these are the ways we can move on from it. And honestly, that's really what I needed the most, was validation in my feelings. And also for somebody to take off my rose-colored glasses and be like, hey, this person's actually wrong. And if I was you, I would put up these boundaries. If you're in that loop or you're in that section of healing where you haven't fully started but you want to, I honestly recommend going to therapy first. whether it's somatic, whether it's whatever stage of therapy you need, I recommend it, especially if you can't afford it or you have the resources where you can look for help, whether it's free or paid. I really recommend it. Did therapy for, honestly, I think like 2-3 years. And then I took a break because I do think breaks are necessary, especially when you're dealing with very deep wounds. Breaks are encouraged. There's nothing wrong with taking breaks. Don't ever feel like healing is your only journey in life and that's all you're ever going to do in life. No, it's part of it. And so it's a part of it so it can help you live your life the way you want to. I was in a weird part of healing where I was so much of a new person with so many new tools and habits. And so I was really in the healing journey of enjoying the healing that I'd done and enjoying the version of myself. And that was a few years, maybe a year or two. And like I would have some healing parts of like journaling and kind of still in the habit of like talking to my therapist here and there. So I was still kind of healing, but I was really focusing on now switching that to other parts of my life where I started traveling and I started doing things that I always wanted to do because it opened those doors for me to want to do it because I allowed parts of myself to be healed. And so I did that. And I'm so grateful I did that. I ended up doing my first detox, which that was my first ever YouTube video, which I'll put here, which is so funny. And then I went to, I was just traveling. I was really enjoying who I was. And I loved it. It was one of those things that I wish was talked about more, was not always just a journey of healing, but the moments in healing where you're like, oh my God, I am a new person. I am like, yes, I actually did overcome that. Like the celebration of healing should be talked about more. And so I was at the stage now where it was an emotional healing that I needed to start doing. And emotional healing looked like energy work. I had to start energetically releasing these experiences off of me and energetically releasing a lot of ancestral healing and lineage healing and generational. Like I had to really start healing that part because all three of your bodies needs to be balanced and attuned, and that's a forever journey. It's a forever balancing that you have to continuously do. And so now I'm in a stage of healing where I'm doing a lot of energy work and just allowing my body to energetically release all the stuff that no longer serves me. A lot of the wounds that I dealt with in therapy was sealed in my mind as healed, but in my body, I was still holding it, especially my emotional body, where I could still, some emotions were still attached to those experiences, or I could physically feel it where they were in my body. And in my mind, I understood logically of the whole situation, and that was cool, but emotionally, I was still attached to it. And I realized I wasn't done with a lot of situations when they were brought up again, but not just to be talked about, but to feel and to remove and to ask for help from the creator and ask help from your spirit team and actively start seeing your body releasing these things. And that could be from getting rashes, getting headaches, your dreams start changing. It's more of it's one of those things that you can't fully explain it, but when you experience it, you understand what's going on. What makes you feel like you're going backwards is because you have to, sometimes we want to move forward so quickly, we want to be healed so fast because we truly just want the best for us. And sometimes we forget things along the way. Sometimes we don't pick up certain things, we don't take certain tools, we don't see the whole picture fully, but we keep moving on. Sometimes you do need to backtrack and revisit something so then you can master it. That's also the goal of healing, is to master oneself. And now I have to work on energetically releasing it out of my life. And it's been a journey. If you want me to talk about that, put in the comments below and I'll make a whole separate video on it, truthfully. But what's really happening when you're revisiting the same old path or the same old patterns or the same old situation is that you're not going back to it to want to relive it, but you're going back to it to pretty much fully end the chapter, to fully end that experience within your body, within your mind, to fully end it. You're kind of here like Neo in the Matrix. You're here to become the chosen one for yourself. Like, you're here to accept that you are who you are and to fully take in everything so you can regain yourself again, so you can regain your gifts and your abilities and your powers and who you are to yourself and who you want to be and what that looks like to you. And honestly, just to end this video on a good note, what are some signs that you will see in order to know that you're healing, and that you are actually making progress, not just going backwards and failing? A lot of it has to do with, first, like I was saying, the physical changes that you start feeling. You might start getting more energy. You might even just start, like I said, start having little rashes or bumps, or certain parts of your body you can feel more than you ever felt before, or certain parts of your body feels different than what it felt before. And you also create a lot of peace. A lot of peace will start coming to you. I don't know how to describe that, but it's like internally you start feeling more at peace with yourself. That's also a sign. And honestly, when your environment starts going a little cuckoo, a little crazy, people that you usually associate with start acting really weird, and certain things you see start like being weird, where you're like, did y'all see that? Or even just your environment actively starts changing, or you stop doing certain habits or patterns that you used to do. You stop doing certain things because you realize, okay, maybe this isn't the best for me. Or you start opening yourself to new things that you wanted to do, but you never did it because of certain things. So there's many signs that you can see. A lot of them are personal signs that you will know, or you and your relationship with the creator will know, or your spirit team will know. It'd be more of a personal level. But just like, honestly, I hate to say it, but sometimes when your world starts shaking, especially when you're healing, that is the biggest sign. And it's not saying that is the most pleasant or the easiest sign or the most fun, but that's the biggest one that I've noticed within my journey, is that my environment changed a lot, whether it was certain relationships or friendships that I was in that I'm not in anymore, or that I don't want to be in anymore, or even just my environment where I'm fully seeing stuff for what it is and no more hiding it or no more playing it off. Also, you start craving something new. You start craving a new version of yourself, or a new environment, or new people. You start wanting to expand. That's all. But healing is honestly the most brave and courageous thing you can do in your life, and it's the most realist thing you can do in your life. Honestly, I truly feel like healing is the realest thing you can do for yourself. It's the most rewarding thing you can do for yourself. Everything after that comes from healing. And yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, my little rant. And if you did, make sure to like and subscribe and support the channel. And I just want to say thank you for sitting here with me. And yeah, comment below if you have any questions, or you want to do a little rant yourself, or you want maybe what to see in the next video. Put that all in the comments below. And yeah, love and peace, y'all.